How did Cookie Cottage get its start?
We got our start way back in 1989. Actually, we got our start back when I was little. I was like 9 years old. I've always loved to bake, so I baked my whole life. Everybody that I baked for always said, oh, you should go into business, but never did. Raised a family, had a job. We were cleaning house for a doctor and his wife, and I used to bake for her, and she pushed me, and my sister worked with me also, to, ask us if we could put cookies on a stick, and I'm like, maybe, we could try it, and so my sister said, okay, if you do all the baking, I'll do all the cleaning, and it kind of just went from there. They ordered a big, it was an orthopedic business, and they ordered the cookies for their Christmas party, and it grew from there. So our first shop was just it was on Crescent Dodge in California, and it was my brother-in-law, when he seen it, he goes, oh look, it's a little cookie cottage, and that's how we got the name, and the rest is history. But that's where we got started, was that way. So.
And then how has Cookie Cottage grown or evolved since it first opened its doors?
When we first opened, all we did was we did not have a walk-in business. It was all delivery, and we just did like cookie bouquets. So it was the cookies on a stick, the arrangements and stuff like that. We were at that shop for about a year and a half, and then we outgrew it. And at the time, my dad found a place on State Street across from Dana, and so we went in there, and at that time we were doing not just the arrangements, but we baked cakes and muffins and pies, anything that anybody really wanted. It got to the point where I was the only one doing it. It was getting pretty crazy. We got advice from SCORE, and they said we needed to focus. What did we want to do? So we went ahead and decided it was cookies. So we just concentrated it on cookies, and we still did the arrangements. We did different types of arrangements. But then people were like, oh, can you do just cookies? They didn't want all the flu stuff. They didn't want to pay for, Fort Wayne's kind of conservative. They didn't want to pay for all the fancy stuff. And we just started doing cookies and different kinds of cookies, and it just grew. We outgrew State Street, went over to Noble Drive, and we were there for, from 97 to we moved here in 18. And so now we're here, and
nice.
Yeah.
And then what role has Cookie Cottage played in shaping Fort Wayne's sense of community?
The community of Fort Wayne has supported us more than I think we supported them, but they've really been behind us. They, the small business, everybody in Fort Wayne likes to support small businesses, and we donate to a lot of different things. But I feel that Fort Wayne really supported us more than we did them.
And then what are some of the biggest milestones or accomplishments Cookie Cottage has achieved over the years?
I guess it's the biggest, because when my sister and I first started, it was just the two of us. And then when we had to start hiring employees, that was huge for us. It totally changes everything. And then I think that, I think that's probably the biggest milestone, but also how we've grown. We employ over 50 people now. And I feel like we're a staple in Fort Wayne, so, yeah.
Okay. And what challenges has the company faced, and how did you overcome them?
The biggest challenge that we've faced was not going to school for business. Neither one of us had any background in business. We waited tables at Hall's Factory for years. That kind of helped us to where we knew the customer was, always customer's always right. If you didn't have the customer, you wouldn't have a business. So customers first. That it taught us that. Sam Hall was great. I mean, we learned a lot of things from him. But actually running a business, we had no knowledge. So that was huge, you know. And then now the next step, how we're growing now. And my daughter-in-law that you just met, Marcella, she's great. She's kind of helping us go to the next step.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then how does Cookie Cottage support its employees and promote a welcoming, inclusive environment?
I think it's more because we all feel like family. We have such great employees. They're fantastic. They stay. We just feel like a family here. When Teresa and I first started, we decided that we would not be open for most of the holidays. The only holiday that we're open is like Valentine's Day, Halloween, things like that. But like Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, 4th of July, we always give everybody the holidays off. That's the way we always wanted. We always hated that we had to work those days, and it's time for your family. So.
And then what are some of the most meaningful partnerships or collaborations Cookie Cottage has had locally?
Locally, like I said, the city of Fort Wayne has been there. A lot of the businesses have helped support us. We support them too.
All right.
Yeah.
And then how have your customers or their cookie traditions changed over the years? Or cookie needs, I guess would be a good way to put that.
Like I said to you before when we first started, it was the arrangements and stuff like that, and then we did all other different things, and now we just do cookies. But we're
You're good.
kind of growing the business a little bit more now to where we have brownies are still cookies, but we do cookie dough and doing different things like that. I'm trying to think more. It's shipping, I guess. We never used to do shipping. We do shipping now. But yeah.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of different things.
You're
we
good.
own our building.
And then what are some of the more popular cookie flavors?
Our ice sugar is the most popular, and the story behind that is a lady that worked over at Dana. She came over to the shop and said, "Could you make a sugar cookie with with icing, not the cutout, which is what we did before?" And I said, "I'll try." So I did the cookie and I gave it to her. I said, "You can keep it." I said, "I don't like them. They're terrible." She goes, "No, they're perfect. Just keep them like they are. They're great." And it's our #1 seller.
I believe it. A lot of people love those cookies.
Yeah. So.
And then the last question, if you could share one message about Cookie Cottage with the community, what would it be?
I guess it would be that owning your own business, a small business, is fantastic here in this community. They support you. And anything is possible if you work hard enough for it.